Hey guys, this is JR with Mindmarker. During this video tutorial, I'll be going over some best practices on the proper use of our program design module, such as how to create a learning journey, add a reinforcement program, discuss the different types of mind markers, and much more. Let's get started. Once you have logged into your client portal, if this is your first time, the following message will appear where you can simply click on the Click Here hyperlink to navigate to the next screen. However, if you already have some existing programs in your portal, you must navigate to the Program Design module by clicking on the Programs tab located on the upper left corner of your dashboard. Let's choose this option. Once the My Learning Journeys banner displays, you're now ready to add your first learning journey. Again, you could either select the Click Here option directly from this banner, or you could click on the plus sign located on the upper right corner of your screen. Let's go ahead and choose this option. Excellent. When creating a learning journey, there are actually two fields. One is a required field, and that is the learning journey title. And this is used to provide a name for the learning journey. Now, this field is very important as it will assist you in the organization and the categorization of your programs module. For example, you can use this field to categorize your program module by training type, by client's name, by cohorts, etc. Let's go ahead and assign a title to this particular learning journey. The next field is a description. This is a non-required field, meaning that it's actually optional and is only utilized for internal purposes. It can only be viewed by admin users. However, we strongly recommend that you actually do use this for your program design. And I'm going to go ahead and add some information in here. Perfect. Now, you'll also notice that we have an awesome help feature, or what we call tooltips. And this is represented by a question mark that will assist you with providing you with valuable information while creating your new programs. All you got to do is find the question mark, hover over that, and it's going to give you some specific information about that field that we find pretty helpful. At this stage, you're also able to set any custom branding for your program cards. And you can do this by navigating, by selecting the word branding right here on the top of the screen. You're going to notice that first we have the company default, and we have the Mindmarker color by design and our logo. However, if you want to use your custom configuration, you can definitely do that by clicking this radio button, and now you're capable of not only clicking on the color palette and choosing, but adding a hex number. Also, if you wanted to replace a Mindmarker logo, you can go ahead and click an upload image and then upload your own logo and choose a pattern from below. These are actually optional, they're not required. And see a preview of how this is going to look on the application level or on the web browser. On the right-hand side, we have a preview. Let's choose a different banner so you can see how it moves. Perfect. If you want this to be your default going forward, you can go ahead and put a checkbox in here. And then the next time you add a program to your portal, it'll keep your color and your logo. All right, when you're ready, go ahead and save the changes. And we just have created our first learning journey, and it's called the Mindmarker learning journey. Now, the next step is assigning programs, or reinforcement programs, assessment programs to this particular journey. So again, we're categorizing it by giving this learning journey a name. This could have been maybe sales training, or again, the name of a specific client or partner of yours, or a specific cohort. We just chose this basic example for now. Now I want to go ahead and add a program. In order to add a program, pretty simple. You can go ahead and click the hyperlink. Like, you should be aware of this right now, right? And then we can go ahead and click on the Add New on the top right-hand side of your screen. So I'm going to go ahead and click here now. And this is going to give me an option to choose whether I want to create a new assessment program, a knowledge assessment, an actual reinforcement program, or behavioral assessment. For this example today, we're going to actually focus on the reinforcement program option. So I click on this box, you're going to see, notice that it's highlighted in blue. And once you have made your selection, you click on confirm, and that will take you to the next step. Now, because we only have one learning journey, that is actually selected by default. Now, when you're assigning programs and you have multiple learning journey, this is where you choose this drop down. Where do you want to tie this program to? Again, this is the first Mindmarker program that we're creating on this sample. So we're going to leave it by default to be the Mindmarker learning journey. Now you want to go ahead and give it a title to the particular reinforcement program that you're creating. I'm going to call it JR Sales Training. Now, when configuring your program, when selecting, you have two options. You can select the blueprints. If you want to know what blueprints are, I'm going to give you a quick example right now. You can click this hyperlink. That's actually going to take you into our manager's guide. Manager's guide is a very valuable resource that we encourage all of our clients to utilize as you're learning Mindmarker, as you're staying up to date with new features and whatnot. This will take you into a helpful feature where now we have a description of what blueprints are, some examples, and this is just one example about blueprints, but we have basically how-to procedures on everything from adding a learning journey to adding programs. Everything you need to know really is at the manager's guide level. So here's a quick example of that. You guys can actually read this in your own time. I'm going to navigate back real quick, and now you can choose whether you want to add your program via a blueprint or start with a blank program. Now, blueprints is what I like to call maybe some sort of like a template, okay? So let's go ahead and select this. When you select blueprints, then it's based on how many reinforcement objectives your program is going to have. You are required to have objectives in the reinforcement programs. We have some system default ones if you don't want to create any. However, it is a system requirement. So we're going to select a short program with one reinforcement objective, and then how long is this program going to be? We're going to choose a 6-week program. Now, notice on the right-hand side, this change, right, is telling you what kind of program we're building. Is a medium intensity with a total of 22 mind markers, 3 to 4 per week, okay? This is our shell. This is our template that we're building for you guys. Again, we're telling you this is a very medium intensity program. If you were to make this a shorter program, it navigates now to a high intensity program, meaning that there's a lot of mind markers in a week. Again, for that information, you can reach out to our manager's guide, or refer to the 7 Principles of Reinforcement, the book written by our author, Anthony Worth, where it's going to explain to you the difference between all of these. Okay, let's go ahead and go back and choose a 6-week program. And once you're ready, you click on Next. It's going to ask you mapping the objectives. The system is going to system assign these objectives for you. We're going to save the changes. And now we have a template, a shell of a blueprint. So this is how a blueprint program is going to look like, guys. We're going to have all the mind markers in order with the objectives, with the weight, and we're going to talk about this more in detail coming up. These are actually placeholders. This is what we recommend when you're using blueprints to build a program of one objective, 6 weeks. We have placeholders in here. In order to actually turn them into mind markers, you will have to navigate to the options and then convert these messages into actual mind markers. Here we have some great designer notes that I encourage you everyone to read as you're building these programs. Again, if you want more information, you can click these helpful links that will take you into a manager's guide. Click on confirm. Again, a little more of designer notes that are super, super helpful. Click OK. And now you're ready to convert this into an actual mind marker. All right, so let's go ahead and cancel out of here. I'm going to go ahead and navigate back. So this is our first reinforcement program that we've added using our blueprints. Now I want to show you how to add a reinforcement program starting from scratch, a blank program as we like to call, all right? In order to add another reinforcement program to this particular learning journey, we're going to navigate to the plus sign again. We're going to choose now which type of programs are we adding in here. We're going to select reinforcement program, wait until it's highlighted, click on confirm. And now this is what you need to select. Okay, where are we going to attach this program to? Drop down, we only have the one Mindmarker learning journey, so we're selecting that. Now we're going to go ahead and select another type of training. I'm going to give it a different title if I can type today. So customer service. Instead of selecting now a blueprint, again with the shell as I showed you previously, now I'm going to start with a blank program. And this is when you decide how long the program is going to be. These are going to be blank programs, no mind markers or placeholders will be available, and I'll show you that. 52 weeks is quite aggressive. So let's go ahead and start again with a 6-week program, and you can always add more weeks after the fact, so no worries. So go ahead and select this 6-week program for duration. We're going to save our changes, and you see, previously with the blueprints, we had a listing of mind markers, basically a template as we discussed. Now you're starting from scratch. This might come in handy when you guys are storyboarding, when you become very familiar with our mind marker portal and you're building your own reinforcement programs on paper, where you can start adding them into the portal once you have everything storyboarding clean and whatnot. This is where you start adding the mind markers. How to add them? You should be very familiar with this banner. You can click the hyperlink, or you can simply click on the Add the Mindmarker plus sign in here. I'm going to choose that option. Again, we have some very helpful designer notes telling you, hey, you're about to start your program. The very first Mindmarker should be about this and that. So we're going to click on confirm. All right, and let's spend some time on here. This is where I'm going to tell you and assist you with the different types of mind markers that we have in our platform. Okay, on the left-hand side, we have it categorized as focus. These are also known per the 7 Principles of Reinforcement book. These are called push messages, where we're pushing information to the learners, okay? So we have an assignment, an evaluation, a learning, and a pitfall. On the right-hand side, we have a question, also known as pull messages, where we're asking the learners to take action, right? To perform something for us. So this is a measure of knowledge, a quiz question, a self-reflection, a measure of opinion, and a measure of behavior change. No worries, I'm going to be giving you some examples here in a minute. And then at the bottom of the screen, we have switchers, and these switchers will be available to you if you want to make your programs adaptive in nature. So, and throughout a learning journey, not a learning journey, I'm sorry, a reinforcement program, you want to switch them to another, let's say a refresher piece or somewhere else, a different type of program, we will add program switchers. If you want them to take an assessment in, pre-assessments or post-behavioral assessments or things like that, you can choose the assessment switcher where they're going to switch them from their existing reinforcement program somewhere else. So again, these are all the options that you have when you are selecting the types of mind markers. Now let's focus on the top left right now. An assignment. This is where you start to describe what your learners must do in the future, okay? This is basically, you're asking them to do something, you're assigning them to do something, and it's typically based on your reinforcement objectives. So give them an assignment for the next day, for the next week, so on and so forth, okay? You can also do an evaluation where you can ask them, hey, did you do it? We evaluate the learner's progression and ask them if they completed the task. If not, we give them another opportunity with emphasis on the importance of why they need to complete it. So that's another example of why to choose the evaluation. A learning is basically, again, a push message where you're providing them with a piece of learning. What does that mean? Maybe a job aid, maybe a quick video, an MP3 audio file, something that is just being provided to the learners, again, going back to the 7 principles of reinforcement, to wake up the lazy brain, to bring them back to the original training. Here's a little bit of information for you. It could be a form, it could be a job aid, again, something that you're going to utilize throughout the reinforcement program. And then the pitfall. Pitfalls, again, are struggles or challenges in the learning. So when to use a pitfall? Well, one of the examples could be, hey, one of the pitfalls for this process is that many people, blah, blah, blah. One misconception that people have, blah, blah, blah. Or one area that people may struggle with this. So you get the idea, right? So you give them basically a piece of information telling them the importance of this program or why this is, why this could be a pitfall or a challenge for them as well. So now that we spoke about the push messages, let's go back into the pull messages. Again, we're pulling information from the learners. The first one is our measure of knowledge, or the quiz question. And basically, this is multiple choice, one answer with feedback. And we'll come back to this as an example here in a minute. Then we have our self-reflections. These are open-ended questions, okay? These are free text questions to gather more insights on why the learner answered the previous question the way they did. So we can tap in there and ask them, why do you answer the question this way? Let me know how you feel, right? So now we're pulling information for them from the learners, and all that data is going to be available via the reporting on the analytics module as well, all right? Then the measure of opinion, these are Likert scales, types of questions. Again, how comfortable is the learners with their current knowledge level? How comfortable, how well do they do their assignments? How often they use the skills? And then they will have rating skills, an option that they can choose from. There's no right or wrong answer when you're doing measure of opinions. And then the measure behavior change, which is, very valuable, also called a repeating survey question. For a lot of people, this exact same question will be asked later in the program to collect data and analyze the difference in responses. So to create these types of questions, these are what we're going to measure for behavior change, right? So we're probably going to ask this question at the beginning of the program, maybe during the middle of the program, and towards the end of the program. These are, again, repeating survey questions that will be tied to the objectives of the reinforcement program, and then we can see the responses throughout, going from very confident, maybe like, oh, I don't know, maybe I wasn't doing that well, and then towards the end of the program, we want to see their confidence rise, right? So that's the measure behavior change option or category. Now, for this example, I'm going to go ahead and choose a measure of knowledge question. So again, click on it. You got your highlight going around that box in light blue, confirm. And now we're going to set the schedule. Now the schedule is really important, okay? Week 1 and day 1. We actually, when we create new programs, they're based on a Monday through Friday schedule. So week 1 will be the first week of the program, and then the day will be the very day of the week. So week 1, day 1 means the first week of the program. Day 1 means Monday, and then the time that you want the first mind marker to be delivered. The system default and right now is 9 a.m. If you want to make that, 6 a.m., 11 a.m., whatever time you want, go ahead and choose that. Keep in mind that this is not tied to a specific time zone. So technically, wherever you're located in the world, it will apply to you where you're located globally, which is a nice, very nice feature of Mindmarker, okay? So we're going to set up the 6 o'clock in the morning, wherever you're located, and then the order. This will basically give you the order of the mind markers as you're building your program. So this will be the very first mind marker when you build your program. I like to select 1. I'm going to go ahead and click on confirm, and this is my very first mind marker on this particular reinforcement program. All right, very good. Now we can see our schedule in here. We already selected that. If you needed to edit that information, you can click the little pencil. The weight. Now let's go ahead and hover over this. Okay, the relative weight in regards, this is basically the importance of this mind marker within the program. So it assigns a weight of more impact to less impact. And this is going to be available to the participants via in the app if you have the leaderboard selected. So again, this is more described into our manager's guide if you need more details on that, but it is a required field. So for knowledge questions, the more you have to do as a learner, we're going to give her a higher point value. This is a knowledge check question, so I always like to make those in the high. So again, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. And then objectives, again, a required field. The system will already assign an undefined or an objective 1. You will have to choose whatever objective you came up with if you're tied to it. And if not, if you don't want any objectives, you can simply click an undefined. Again, the title is required. This is where the title goes. This is where the title goes. And we do strongly recommend, even though titles are not required for every type of mind marker, I personally recommended to add titles to every single mind marker. Make them catchy. This is what the learner is going to see on their end, right? So when you get the mind marker, if there's something in here that's catchy, they're going to want to open this mind marker, right, and get engaged within the program. Then we have our introduction. This is where the intro goes, so you can tell them what they're about to be doing in this particular question. Then here's the question. So whatever question you come up to test your knowledge. Then the explanation. And this is a pretty awesome field that you can use for feedback. So even though they're going to be selecting the, between right and wrong, they only get to choose one answer. You want to give them feedback, okay? If they chose it right, great. But this is why this is the correct answer. And if they chose the incorrect answer, no worries. We have an explanation for you as to why. Remember, this is a reinforcement program. So they've already been through the training. So this is a good opportunity to give them some feedback and an explanation as to why this should have been the correct answer. So explanation goes here. And as you can tell, I'm very creative. All right, now let's go ahead and answers A, B, C. Well, JR, there's a D. No worries. We can add another answer and put D. And then you will choose which of these should be the correct answer. Okay, so let's say D is the correct answer. You click on that radio button. Or, again, if you want to get rid of, maybe I don't need actually 4 JRs, A, B, C. Never mind. Just get rid of that. It'll change your answers in here. So pay attention to this radio button right here. Let's make B the correct answer. And now we can save the changes. But before we save those changes, I left this for last, the attachment or media files, okay? Every mind marker will allow you to basically attach or add a media file in here. So this is pretty cool because you can have images pertaining to the question or whatever's going on in here. So in order to add media files, you will click on the select media file link. And as you will notice in here, this is a brand new program. There's no media files in my media library. So you will have to basically go into upload files and search for a specific image. I don't know if I have anything in here right now that I can use, but again, you get the idea. You're going to have to browse for your media files, upload them, and then they will automatically be added to your media library, and they'll be available for this particular program going forward. So media files are important, guys. You can use pictures like JPEGs and PNGs. You can add MP3 files for audio. You can add short videos in here. You can add PDF files. Again, we have a whole listing that you can view via our manager's guide of the different files that we allowed in Mindmarker, and of course, all the specs and things like that that come with the use of media. So I'm going to go ahead and save the changes now in here. And here we go. The changes are saved. We just added our first mind marker. Now to navigate back, I'm going to click this little arrow on the top left. That's going to take me out, and here it is, our very first mind marker. All right, another question that I wanted to talk about today, I'm going to go out into our learning journey again, is assigning a test code. Let's say that you guys wanted to test this program before releasing it as a live program to your end users, right? You do have the capability of doing a test code. And how do you do that? All you have to do is go into your programs module, right? Look under the learning journey and select the program that you want to test. In this case, I'm going to choose the JR customer service. On the right-hand side, I'm going to navigate down to create a test code. Okay, a test code, not a code. This is for live programs, but this is test, and you can learn more about the usage of codes again on the manager's guide. For this example, I'm going to choose create a test code. We automatically assign the test code, and it's right here, okay? This is where the test code is going to be. At this point, guys, you may want to take a screenshot, you may want to write it down, copy, paste it into a document, your notes, whatever. Now you click on confirm. We have already assigned the test code. Now, the million-dollar question, you know, hey, JR, I created a test code, but I don't remember where I wrote it down, where I pasted it. Do not worry about that. We have your back. We definitely have a way that you can track that information. That is actually in a different module. So to navigate out into our dashboard, I'm going to go up on the left, click that little home. Now we're looking at our dashboard. We were actually in the programs module. Now to find out the code or the codes you have created for any given program, you click on the participants module. You got to choose, right, the codes right on the top, the category. We got program groups, codes, and leaderboards. We're only going to focus on codes today. And then here it is, JR Customer Service. There's one code created. You can click on that banner. Here's your test code, guys. So you can go in here. You can go ahead and view the details. You can even edit the code and then grab it from here. But anyway, this is a high level of how to get back into the code. That will be the code that you'll be using to test your program. All you have to do is put this code into your app, and then depending on your settings, you'll be able to see it as the end user will see it. So I always recommend anytime you create a new program to test it out so you know how your learners or your participants will be seeing this module. And again, if you ever have any questions on how to do this, please reach out to us and we'll be happy to get back to you. So let's go back into our main dashboard. I'll go ahead and click that little home in there. And this is how you navigate the portal. So again, guys, this is a high level tutorial today. Hopefully you found it very, very helpful. If you ever have any questions or need any further assistance, please do not hesitate to contact us. All right, have a great day, and I hope you enjoyed it. Take care. Goodbye.